Spooky season is here, which is exactly why I wanted to devote this week's episode to a scary truth. The vast majority of people care about you less than you think, and at the end of your life, you will die with a very small proportion of people ever knowing who you were.
What a happy start to this episode.
Now, this topic may sound scary and pessimistic, but it's actually meant to be thought-provoking and positive, so stay with me. It can feel like the world revolves around us because, well, it does. Every single night since the day you've been born, you've slept with the same person. You have lived in your own thoughts and lived in your own body. No one will ever live your life except for you. You have a basic understanding of what you like and a basic understanding of what you don't. You have hobbies, you have interests, you have dreams, or at least things you'd like to spend your time doing. You will go through life, get a job, maybe have a family, experience all that life has to offer, then you will die. And the vast majority of people in the history of humankind will have no idea who you were or what you did. Now this might sound grossly exaggerated, but name me 10 people from the 1600s. Go ahead. Go on. Too hard? Okay, fine. Name me 10 people from the 1900s. That's literally only 100 years ago. That's one person. Go ahead. Still can't do it? If you pick one celebrity living right now and you flash forward 100 years, the vast majority of people will have no idea who that person is. This has been a thought that has circled in my mind for a while. If you won't be remembered by everyone, what's the point of all this? What's the meaning of living? Why do we get mad at trivial things like when cars cut us off? Now keep in mind, before I dive into all of this, I'm just some random guy on YouTube offering my opinion. I'm not a philosopher or some prophetic being from the future. I'm just a 22-year-old Canadian guy trying to help every single person I meet live the best life they possibly can. My idea for the reason we're all here, for the meaning of life, is that we all have a responsibility to enhance the quality of lives of those around us. A paradox that drives the majority of my decisions is this: people care less than you think, but you have a bigger impact than you could ever imagine. I go into great detail about how much of an impact we all truly do have, and that's in episode 40. It's personally one of my favorites on this channel. To solidify this point, let's say you're a teacher. You're teaching 7-year-olds how to write their name, how to write little short stories. One of these students catches your eye and you say to him, "Buddy, you've been working so hard and you're an incredible writer." Little do you know, those words may shape the path of this kid's life. They may go through school with that message subconsciously in their mind, and then one day go on to produce one of the finest pieces of art. You never know the impact you're having. That's the point of me telling you this hypothetical story. It is so hard to wrap our heads around it because it's such a hard thing to quantify, but we all matter tremendously, and every single person impacts the lives of others in minor ways. It's this weird dynamic where everything we do matters, but nothing we do matters that much in the grand scheme of things. That's why this idea of life is so fascinating to me. One of my favorite all-time authors, Mark Manson, said it best when he said this in The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. In a bizarre, backwards way, death is the light by which the shadows of all life meaning is measured. Without death, everything would feel inconsequential, all experience arbitrary, all metrics and values suddenly zero. Now, the topic of dying is something that we often want to neglect as humans. It seems like such a faraway thing, especially when you're my age at like 22, but it's a reality that every single one of us will face.
You do be running though.
And while it might seem daunting and sinister and it might seem like this scary thing, to me it's very inspiring because it encourages me every single day to live in line with the person I wish to be. Why work at a job you hate? Why worry about all of these trivial things? Why not book that plane ticket or call your friends or start that podcast? That's what this channel is all about. And as the very uplifting thesis of this episode talks about, the majority of people care about you less than you think. But at the end of your life, you will die with the small proportion of people who remember who you are. This may sound sinister, but from my perspective, it's actually quite inspiring. This thesis is why I started a YouTube channel. Why, honestly, I don't really care what people think about me, and why I want to live a life helping every single person I meet live in line with the person they wish to be. The saddest reality to me is that so many people fail to live authentically to themselves out of fear of judgment from other people. So many people stifle their potential because they don't want people to laugh at them, or they don't want people to see them without a lot of success. But I'd rather live a life being judged doing what I love to do than to stifle my potential and live a life that fits the status quo. So in the wise words of someone who will be forgotten by the time your great-grandkids are born, everybody dies, but not everybody lives. You and I aren't gonna make it out alive, but that's because we've been fortunate enough to live. Thank you so much for being here. Happy Halloween. I'll see you next week.